Bring our friend Scott Martin in to talk more about this from Kingsview Asset Management. He's a Fox contributor. And we've actually on this show, we've talked a lot about this, Scott. What Cuban is getting at is that, well-intended as it may have been, this Paycheck Protection Program, first it took a while to get passed and then a while to roll it out and actually get implemented and get the money in people's hands. In the meantime, we got, 22 million people filing for unemployment.
Yeah, this was a tough one to land. I mean, the reality is, Connell, like you said, there was a lot of hair on this from the beginning, whether if you want to talk about the slowdowns in Congress from Pelosi and crew adding a lot of pork to the bill, to the fact that they probably did underestimate the demand. Communication, don't forget, about a month or so ago was kind of choppy with respect to what businesses had to do to qualify. But, I look at these reactions and I think I try to look at the bright side, as I do. And this probably means, number one, we're on the happy side of par here because we're already quarterbacking what's happened because it is kind of working. And number two, the standpoint that something is being done and there's more money hopefully coming per Hillary Vaughn's report. So the reality is this. If we're left quarterbacking, Monday morning quarterbacking with hopefully the NFL here starting soon, at least in the fall, and getting the NFL draft here done, my mind is on sports and coming back. If we're Monday morning quarterbacking what Trump's done so far in his messaging, that's probably a good sign that we're closer to the end of this thing than the beginning.
Here's a problem with that theory, at least on the Paycheck Protection Program, is that the next date I've been hearing a lot from small businesses is the end of June, like June 30th. And they're looking at it as, say, they take these loans with the agreement that they'll keep people on the payroll, right? And then that loan will be forgiven. It'll essentially turn into a grant. And that basically gets you to the end of June. So now we have all of these delays in terms of how our economy is going to reopen. New York going to May 15th, and who knows, maybe delayed more after that. What if the economic demand isn't there, by the 1st of July, say? Now you're thinking about more layoffs if you're running one of these small businesses. You don't have that money anymore. We're going to reach a point where that's a tough call.
Yeah, those are the real layoffs, really, as I would say, Connell. And I think about the end of June very close to my heart because my birthday, by the way, is June 28th, just for those playing at home. So those are big dates in the world in general, right? But you're right, Connell. The fallout economically is one that's going to be hard to determine because I agree with what you've been talking about so far on the show, especially with Steve Moore, is you can throw money at this thing all day long. But the reality is you need economic confidence to come back. You need the consumers to feel comfortable with going out and spending money and sitting in restaurants and going to concerts. And if that doesn't happen, then it doesn't matter how much money you throw at it because it's going to keep having to be an endless amount because there's going to keep being problems in the economy with confidence.
That is a good final point to end on, Scott, because you're right in that sometimes we talk about, whose decision is it? Is it President Trump? Is it the governors? Is it the mayors? Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, I get it's ours, right? In a lot of ways. To your point, are we going to choose to go to a restaurant? Are we going to? There's a lot of individual, I don't know if responsibility is the right word, but choice, and the choice we make will determine our economic kind of fate, right?
True, and here's the great part of that too. I am feeling very optimistic today, guys. The consumer is going to make the right choice, though, because people are already taking precautions. They're wearing masks. They're social distancing. They're washing their hands. All these things are happening to make people safer. We're seeing that in the flattening of the curves. The thing that's worrisome to me that Steve maybe mentioned that I think he's a little bit incorrect about, the governors here, especially J.B. Pritzker, my governor, he's not waiting for a check from Uncle Sam. He's waiting for a check from taxpayers, people that are still making money in this state, businesses that are still open, they're still getting revenue. That's what they're waiting for the check for, and that's going to hurt business and hurt the economy as well when that comes to roost.
Right, and remember, they're waiting for a lot of these tax receipts or these checks to come in until the 15th of July, not to, yesterday, 15th April, because of that little change this year. All right, good stuff as always, Scott. It's good to see you. Scott Martin in Chicago. Melissa.